I'm here today with Christian Argentine, Vice President of SITA. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you, Amy. It's a big pleasure for me too.
And we are here at the ACI Europe Annual Congress and General Assembly, and we are fresh from celebrating the ACI Europe Best Airport Awards 2025, which, as you know, celebrate excellence in the airport industry. SITA has a long-standing history of innovation in the airport industry. So what does sponsoring the ACI Europe Best Airport Awards mean for you, and how does it align with your mission to support excellence?
Let me start to say that what a night. It's been a great evening, it's been a great award, it's been a great gala dinner. So thank you to ACI Europe and Athens Airport for organizing it. This is actually for us a continuation of our investment that started 75 years ago to recognize all the innovation, the resilience, and how technology can help airports to achieve their objectives. So for us, when we've been asked for sponsoring the evening, it was absolutely an easy choice because this was the best way for us to recognize all the effort all the airports and our customers and our partners are doing on a daily basis, and that was a big pleasure for us.
It was truly an amazing night, and we really saw some airports who were rushing ahead with their innovation and really showcasing the best that the industry has to offer. Let's talk about how airports across Europe are evolving rapidly with new technologies. So how is SITA helping them address today's challenges while preparing for tomorrow's demands?
Technology and resilience by design is what we're doing on a daily basis across the board. If I have to pick and choose some example of those, we can think about how the digitalization is now evolving, because both airline and airports are in excess of 90% in the digital world. And that means that your responsibility and the way you're managing your technology is becoming much more dominant in the way your resilience is built through the technology. So this is something that has to be taken as a mission for us. And this is something that we're taking really seriously across the board. So when we look into the passenger processing, basically every touch point is now built in a way that allows the passenger and the overall ecosystem to work in an optimized manner. And if something goes wrong, and things goes wrong day to day, we can make sure that we can recover as quick as possible once the resilience is not baked in properly. Another example is when you think about the airports, you think about technology, of course we're in an ecosystem, so we do always have a mix of breed of technology in many airports. However, the passenger is unique, and the passenger processing is what you're looking at. So in that sense, we recently invested into a company called CCM that is market leader in airport interiors. And the objective here is to bake in this technology by design and resilience by design of SITA into this interior design, so that when you think about the passenger processing across the airport, you will be able to give that experience to the passenger by mixing the interior design, the passenger flow, and the technology into that. Those are a couple of examples, but we do have others. So collaboration is key in the airport industry, and one of the main collaboration aspects that we need to think about is the airport collaboration system, so what is called ACDM normally. So this system allows all the parties that help the airport to operate in an optimized manner, to exchange data, to exchange information in order for everyone to take the best possible decision at any point in time. So this is a technology that, of course, we're going to get machine learning, AI, all these kind of new techs. And this is an area where we're investing massively. Now, if you look into investment, I think that SITA was born to provide network connectivity across the whole industry, and this is continue to be our DNA. So if you think about airports and the line industry, effectively the networking is like the blood in the human body. And if there is no blood, the human body doesn't work. If there is no networking, an airport can't operate. So with all the new technology and SD-WAN and so on, we're now improving what has been for the last 70 years, the networking that have been providing the technology for the exchange of data across the airport and the line. We're doing it across the world. We have a number of R&D centers, and most notably the biggest one are in the UK, in Ireland, in Romania, and in India.
So you really are a worldwide network. And
we are. Basically, when I try to explain that to our customers or to our partner, the reality is if you see an aircraft taking off or landing, there is always a component of SITA behind the scene, because to do that properly, there is an exchange of data between the aircraft and the air control tower, and this is powered by SITA in the majority of the case worldwide.
I would like to ask you a bit more about from smart airport operations to seamless passenger experiences. Like you said, SITA solutions span the full airport ecosystem. So could you share some recent innovations that really exemplify your commitment to shaping the airport of the future?
Resilience by design and technology are baked into the heart of whatever we do. But innovation is equally important. And this is what we're asking to all our teams to work across any single technology. If you have to pick and choose the most recent one, we think about baggage. So as a passenger, your main headaches is basically whether your baggage will travel with you and whether you can find that at the arrival point. And often technology has been overtaking what the airport can provide, the airline can provide themselves. So Apple Tag, for instance, is something that we now use commonly for every single reason of our life, and Apple Tag or Android and so on. So what we did is that we partner with Apple and we develop a solution that will allow in a secure and GDPR compliant manner to share data with airline and with airports when a passenger is using an AirTag in their luggage. Of course, biometric is here. In the large majority of the world, biometric is a reality across the board. We have countries like Aruba, where SITA is providing an entire technology to be basically paper-free to get into the country and keep your passport in your pocket and do everything in a biometric manner. Europe is unfortunately lagging behind, mainly due to regulation and to challenges we're facing to the adoption. But the big advantage, technology is ready, and as soon as we unlock the regulation and the use of this technology, we can actually take it advantage of. So biometric is another element. Now, I wouldn't be able to have this interview if we're not talking about AI and machine learning. This is, of course, something that we're doing across the board. So pretty much every single solution of SITA is using, whenever it's relevant, AI or machine learning. We do have basically a group of experts that are operating under the brand of SITA Lab that are continuously looking into what's new in the industry from a technology perspective and how that can be providing value to the passenger. And then, of course, everything is on the cloud, but sometimes cloud is not the only solution. You need to have a mix of cloud and mainframe. Our technology is it's called SITA Flex, is allowing to have every single touch point on the passenger processing powered by both either cloud-based or cloud native or mainframe technology or a mix of everything. This seems to be basic, but effectively when you think about resilience, it's important that across all the touch points, whether it is at the kiosk, at the service backdrop, at the boarding, you are able to provide this multi-layer security that nothing goes wrong, and if something goes wrong, someone else will back up.
So can you tell me how SITA is enabling more sustainable and more efficient airport operations through the technology portfolio you've talked about?
We've been talking about biometric before. So, of course, providing biometric entry frictionless across any border is one of the best way to minimize the paper consumption and to optimize the way we are operating in a sustainable manner. So if you think about anything that is around e-visa, like if you fly to Australia, all the e-visas in Australia have been provided by SITA since more than 2 decades or something like that. So this is not new, but it's important to keep going and to roll out across the markets in the different sides of the world. So if you think about your luggage, having real-time baggage management, such as BagJourney or WorkTracer, is allowing you to have a more efficient baggage management. And of course, if you can go paperless, it would be even better, because then over time you will be able to reuse your bag tag. So this is something that we're working on and investigating further. Now, if you look into the aircraft, basically we operate for the aircraft in 2 different manners. On one side, we have again, AI, machine learning technologies that allow you to consume less fuel in the different phases of your flight. So basically, you can consume, normally when you take off is when you consume most of your fuel. And in that specific point, there are different ways of using the information that have been historically provided for your specific tail, by your specific weather condition. And now we have the opportunity to bake all of that together into a single cockpit and share it with the pilot. And this is something that is now used by nearly 50 airlines in the world and is saving tons of CO2 for every single flight, not for every single flight, for the entire community, for every single day of the year. And another one is also with the weather condition and the challenges we're facing in terms of volatility and usage of the airspace, we do have the opportunity now to give more informed information to the pilots. So specifically, when you fly in an air zone that is quite complex, the pilot needs to take a lot of decisions in a limited amount of time. And providing the technology for the pilot to take a more educated decision is helping them also to consume less fuel and ultimately to have a positive impact on the sustainability of the flight itself.
What is SITA's vision for the future of airport technology and innovation?
That's a single question that got a lot of answers though, because if I forget any of the area we're developing for the future, some of my product manager will hate me. So let me try to summarize per domain. So first of all, we are a believer that one ID, or actually one single digital identity, is the way forward. Today, technology already allows you to have on your wallet your ID. And this is used in some countries, not across the world yet. But here again, technology is available. Probably we should be improving like every piece of technology. But being able to have a frictionless journey where you are going paperless is definitely the way forward. And there is a lot of investment that is done by SITA, but also across the community to make it happen, because this is the future for everyone. You will still probably carry your own passport, but you can keep it in your pocket and just go walk through the different touch points at the airport, on the border force, and then just pass all of that in a seamless manner. So this is one of the areas. Another one is with the computation power of the technology that we do have, and of course AI in this current shape and form, but in the one that will come in the future, we are having the opportunity to take a more adaptive and educated decision in every step of the journey. And this is something that is now baked in across all of our solutions, because we need to keep using this technology in the best possible manner. So AI and data-driven usage of this AI is what we're looking at for keep improving on the way forward. Now, if I go down into more detail on the different area, of course, in the baggage, I mentioned before that the baggage ecosystem it's something that is quite key, because we can manage a piece of technology in the baggage journey, but effectively there is always a physical element in the baggage. There is always a carousel. There is always a baggage landing system, and it is by cooperating with the entire ecosystem that we could provide a better journey for the future. This is a difficult environment to operate, because you have a multi-vendor environment by definition, and it's challenging to define what is the right way forward, but a lot of effort is deployed into that, both from SITA as development of the technology, but also from SITA as enabler of the ecosystem to work towards a better journey of the baggage together with the passenger. Now, the technology is improving in a way where we are becoming more flexible, and this is also reflecting into what is the hardware you need to have to operate some of the touch point of the passenger processing. So until recently, you were used to have a relatively large machine in an airport to recognize yourself, to recognize your baggage, to recognize your boarding pass, and so on. This is something that can be digitalized. And we are doing it already in some airports with some airline customers. And you can think about having everything done on your mobile moving forward. So like most of the people, you will go at the airport, you will have your boarding pass, digital boarding pass on your mobile. Why you would need to print piece of paper at the airport, like a bag tag and so on, for the different steps, where actually everything can be done in a dematerialized manner. This is going to take some time, because unfortunately, technology is probably a bit in advance of the regulation at the moment, but this is our responsibility as well as SITA, to make sure that we are bringing the regulation and the technology at the same speed, so we can take full advantage of both across the board. Another area that we are really keen to work on is around the digital travel ecosystem. So as mentioned before, we have now the opportunity to digitalize pretty much everything, but the ecosystem is not always ready to be digitalized itself. So what we're trying to do here is to work with the rest of the ecosystem and making sure that every single vendor, every single airport, every single partner across the board is able to digitalize. We've been doing a lot of work with ground handling, for instance, to help them into their rostering and making sure that they will be in a position to use the digital world even better going forward. And last but not least, we have a number of R&D centers across the world. So we are 3 multinational companies, and each of them are baking some piece of technology that we're not even aware of. And we do have access to technology through Mega Partner that is not available on the mass market yet, and we are developing in this area something that maybe I'm not even aware of yet, but it will come in the near future. That's it.
Well, it has been amazing to hear about everything that CETA does. And we have to simply thank you for sponsoring the ACI Europe Best Airport Awards and for doing this interview today. So, Christian, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I mean, thank you very much to ACI Europe. So my role in CETA is also to be sponsoring ACI Europe on behalf of CETA. And I really believe in the community effort that we all need to do across the board to make the journey better. And ACI Europe is doing an amazing job for all of the airports in Europe, but also worldwide. So I'm really proud of that.